Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures, and it's time for our weekly painting progress. And yes, there's a big piece of terrain because, well, that's what I painted. This is actually printed on Sparkle Trout, my brother's printer. It was an FDM printer, and I don't know if he has that printer anymore, but he was always nagging me that I never bothered to paint any of the terrain that I've got, so I did just that. This was from, I think I just said, Lovecraft Designs, from their Gladiator Kickstarter, quite a whiles back. And while this isn't the size of arena that I'd like to have, at least it's a start. So this is actually 4 separate pieces. And I don't know if I want to keep it in 4 separate pieces. I guess so that way you can set it up in whatever manner you wish. I mean, it's a pretty basic, boring paint job, but I did it all by hand rather than with sprays, which probably would have made more sense. But it is what it is. I keep debating about gluing it all together and basing it. And I was thinking if I was going to base it, I've got those GW skulls that I've had like since that set came out, and I keep thinking about like, you know, putting like the blood splatters everywhere and throwing some skulls, or maybe even just glue a couple skulls and bones here and there all over the place. Dried blood. I don't know. Thinking about it. On the other hand, it's nice and convenient to be able to stack it up and just get it out of the way. These good little faces there. I'm probably going to go back and bronze these and hit them with like some kind of a greenish blue to rust them up as well. So I got that done. I am happy to have gotten that done, so hopefully I'll get on Sparkle Trout's case and we'll get an actual honest-to-goodness arena at some point in the future. So he's been busy, I've been busy. Let's see what he's got here. First off, we've got a dwarf-type person, quite squat-like if you want to call them that. This is from Titan Forge's Sci-fi Patreon, Cyberforge. Now these were modular figures as well. At least this one is with the hands. They also have options with big domes as well. This was our test run. I know Sparkle Trout's got plenty of painted, what are they, Forge Fathers from Mantic, Hassle-Free Grim, I think, from way back when, and the oddball 3D print here and there. So I know he's kind of eyeing those Necromunda squats. But this is significantly larger, so that is one of the nice things. You know, we can go back and tweak the size of things. So, came out pretty nice, though. Got that. And then he's got a bunch of Maker's Cult figures that I printed up for him as well. This was their utility bot. This is to go along with their Valor Core line. I was telling him the other day, it really reminds me of, I think it was the fatties from Votoms, not Votoms, singular. I don't know why. Maybe with the number, maybe the way the curvature of the torso armor is. I don't think these guys had any actual weaponry. They were just like kind of surface bots, servitor type things. So you can see the squat's pretty big in comparison to it. And then he had me print him some deco bots, which were these 30s style droid-like infantry robots. So you can see here, he went with a very simple basic paint job. Quite a lot of different head varieties. I don't remember how many I gave him at this point, and weapon options at that, but usually the Maker's Cult is pretty good about that. I like those slim retro style lines. Very Gort-like visor on this one. The backpacks are all optional as well. As you can see, I don't think this guy even had one. Two-eyed head. There were other poses as well. I think I just gave him a lot of the basic guys standing around. And if we were going to go for an Art Deco style robot, well, one of them obviously had to be gold. For reasons, right? Of course. One thing that always needs to be said, if you haven't checked out Maker's Cult's stuff, I'm sure there's licensed printers out there as well, but if you haven't ever gone on their Patreon or Cults or comics, games, and things, wherever they have it these days. This is like honest to goodness modeling stuff. None of these things are pre-built. You got to put it all together yourself, and I know that's always fun. All right, what did I get painted? I was going to say printed, but I don't even think I printed anything this last week. With my birthday, I got a big old pile of books, and I've been slowly churning my way through them, which I'm sure they'll show up on this channel on Fridays over the next few months, because I was telling my family this is like the heaviest birthday I think I've ever experienced in my entire life. Big. Lots of big books. I did not have a lot of time to print, but I did have time to paint some things besides our arena that we saw earlier there. So I've slowly but surely been going back and trying to clear my backlog of ancient models. So I want to say this is a Germanic tribesman. Could be a Gaul. Could be both. Could be either or. I don't think it's a Dacian, though. Most of the Dacians had caps or helmets. But that's a nice thing. You can use them for whatever. And a boss guy to go along with him. Very simple paint job, and I thought I had got all that static grass off before I sealed things. Nope, and it's stuck there now. Oh well. Again, very simple paint, but that's okay. Because honestly, you know, from a distance, you're going to have a bunch of these guys all mobbed up. It's not going to make a huge impact, I think. Alright. Now this one I printed a while ago, and I'll eventually have a video on this. This is from the most recent Bestiarium set, as I attempt to hold my hand steady on the camera while I have blue text stuck to my elbow. I don't know if the source is obvious, what he's supposed to be painted and inspired by. I posted this on Instagram the other day without actually putting the name on there. Maybe I'll edit it later on, but problem is, I don't know, I did a better job, I thought, on the eyes, and he's got like these kind of tribal marking tattoo things on his chest there, but you can't really see them anymore. I did go kind of a little bit overzealous with the sealer, but oh well. I also am not sure if he's actually supposed to have a blade or a scabbard. I painted it like a scabbard. Not sure if it... I'll just say it. It's supposed to be. I've been in a Guilty Gear mood. I'll leave it at that. I don't know if it was as obvious as I had hoped. Nobody makes figures. I know there's one artist I've seen on Colts that has done some 3D printable models of Guilty Gear figures. A couple of Blaze Blue. This is going to say Arc System stuff. But the thing to me, especially with the newest game, is they've got those thick proportions, and that, I think, is the main challenge to get right. But yeah, we're getting totally off topic. A Warcaster model. Now, this guy was an obnoxious model to paint because there's like literally one photo on the entire internet that I've come across. He was an Empyrean solo. I don't think he was a Warcaster. Maybe he is, and I don't even know. And obviously I made the mistake for video purposes of gluing it all together. I wouldn't recommend that. And trying to get a thin brush into all those little tiny narrow cracks was not fun. Yeah, I did all of that on the back too. I guess I gotta touch some stuff up there. I don't even want to try to go back and highlight it. I was just like, I'm done. I had enough. From a distance it looks fine. Right? I think so. It's a bit more Japanese mecha looking than their usual fare, so I liked that. Oh gosh, what is this guy called? I don't even remember. I know he's an Old Dominion model, and I was waiting to get him done so I could go ahead and finish my Moroi video with the like spirit dudes. I did a really simple job, but I'm happy with it. I love the two faces on it. It just screams Zeiram. I haven't seen Zeiram in years. I always like that. Then again, I have a soft spot for extra heads, extra body parts. And speaking of extra body parts, well, this model doesn't have extra body parts, but I told you not a week's going to go by without some Kingdom Death models. So this is the male Screaming God pinup. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, I did not go back and fix up the armor on his legs the way I wanted to, but it's okay. I did a very simple job. Very simple. But it's finished. So there is that. I have just been plowing through them. Like I said, I think I've had one almost every week, right? So I'm asking myself rhetorically. But yeah. So not a bad little haul. I will try to keep up the pace. But honestly, I have just got too many books to read. And I love reading. So I will do my best to continue painting. Sometimes it can be a slog. All my brushes are getting all cracked up. That's not fun. It doesn't matter, hot water, vinegar, brush cleaners. It's just, I think the regular wear and tear and grind of doing this much stuff on a weekly basis is just too much for those poor cheap synthetic brushes. But it's like, I'm too cheap. I don't want to spend a bunch of money on a nice brush with the amount of rigor and toil that I tend to just inflict upon these poor things. So, it's hard to say. They're not all going to fit in my arena here, unfortunately. So if you're curious about any of these models, as always, take a look down below. We will have all of the links there for you. And as always, we will have our link for our Patreon page as well if you enjoy the channel and want to continue to see funky content and obscurities like they are. We are always appreciative of your guys' generosity. So, with that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.